Man, 2020 has just been a year. I'm sorry if you guys hear some background noise. There's a helicopter flying around my house because there may or may not be a riot somewhere nearby. Let's talk about 2020. You wouldn't have believed me if I had told you last year that a petty fight between two middle-aged millionaires was going to be the drama story of the year. But believe it. And not only are they going after each other, their temper tantrum could have some far-reaching effects for everybody on the platform. I am, of course, talking about Keemstar from Drama Alert and Ethan from h3h3Productions. If you haven't heard about this, then strap yourself on in because this is going to be one wild ride. So who are our subjects today? Keemstar is the host to the biggest drama channel on YouTube, Drama Alert, and is the self-appointed villain of YouTube. The guy has fought with so many YouTubers that his list of enemies is endless. His career has had lots of moments that are generally considered bad moves. Many of them we're going to talk about today. It's important to know, however, that Keemstar has been called out more times than Jake Paul. I mean, this dude survived a content cop, and other people, well, after the content cop drops, they're hitting the ship out of town because they cannot come back from it. But Keemstar, this guy is like Teflon. Whatever you throw at him, nothing sticks. Ethan from h3h3Productions, though, is no stranger to criticism himself. He's made plenty of YouTuber and drama criticism videos, though recently he's been focused on growing his podcast, which I mean, I'm no fan of his podcast. It kind of reminds me of one of those really awkward classes in college when the socially awkward TA has to lead the class. Ethan is generally considered a better person than Keemstar by most people, I'd say. However, that might have just changed. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt there, but this is that part of the video where I come in and ask you to like and subscribe. Less than half of the people who watch my videos are subscribed, and the best way for me, as a growing creator, to tell that you guys are liking what I'm doing is to see subscribers and likes. It's actually lit, and it really helps motivate me, so if you're new, thank you so much for subscribing, and if you've been subscribed, thanks for all the support. Now, let's get back to the nursing home with Keemstar and h3h3. So what actually started this whole beef? Who's to blame for the biggest threat to the YouTube community since the last adpocalypse? Well, like everything with this scenario, it's complicated. The drama actually started when a completely uninvolved YouTuber named Some Ordinary Gamers uploaded a video called The Hypocrisy of Ethan Klein, where he called out Ethan's lack of relatability and also called Ethan out for donation shaming billionaire Jeff Bezos for a $100 million donation for pandemic relief. Ethan then decided to respond and defended himself in a video called Everybody Loves Ethan. Over 30-minute video in response to an 8-minute original one. He makes fun of Some Ordinary Gamers for saying that he's unrelatable, claims that the original video doxed him, which in my opinion isn't really true. The original video just stated that Ethan owned a multi-million-dollar house and that people should look it up. Clearly his intention was to tell people to look at the ridiculous amount of money that Ethan spent on his luxurious mansion, and he wasn't trying to say to look up his address. Anyway, he disputes the idea that he was donation shaming Jeff. Basically, Ethan took an 8-minute video of criticism and responded to it in an out of proportion and grandiose way. I know, you'd think that a middle-aged man who has made his fortune in the public eye might be able to take just a little bit of criticism, but it seems that with both Ethan and Keemstar, that is not true. But when did Keemstar get involved? Well, you see, Keemstar runs Drama Alert and he reports on all the drama that's going on. So he covered the Some Ordinary Gamers vs h3h3 drama, and in that video, he called Ethan out for a number of things. But most importantly, he went after Ethan, saying that he didn't put money from the sale of Payday 2 skins into the FUPA fund, which was a fund set up for the protection of copyright on YouTube. That was the spark that started this whole war. That one allegation. The criticism that Ethan couldn't take is that he just wasn't transparent enough with how he handled money raised for him in the period of time surrounding his massive lawsuit. If you don't know, Ethan was sued a couple years back by another YouTuber who claimed Ethan was using his videos in violation of copyright law. Ethan won after massive expense. A bunch of money was donated to help him win because it was helpful for copyright on YouTube. So anyway, once I saw that Drama Alert, I was pretty much done. You know, I wasn't thinking this would go anywhere. But fast forward a couple days later to me sitting on my computer scrolling through Twitter. What happens across my little eye? A tweet from Ethan himself. New video in 60 minutes. This is by far our biggest project to date. 30 days in the making and hundreds of hours in editing. But I'm really proud of how it came out and can't wait for you guys to see it. I knew it was going to be big, but what he proceeded to post was like a nuclear bomb. It was a video titled Content Nuke Keemstar, a play on the content cop title that iDubbbz uses. In this video, Ethan goes after Keem like a fox chasing a rabbit during a famine in the desert. He rebuts Keem's point about the Payday 2 money going to FUPA. He brings up the zombies from Keem's past, and honestly, these zombies must be getting tired since they get brought out so much. Leafy and Grade A Under A had made basically the same video, basically the same points that Ethan makes in this video years ago. We're talking about that time Keem mistakenly called a RuneScape streamer a pedophile, which is not a good look. And honestly, I think that that's the only decent vector of attack that Ethan has on Keem in the whole video. He brings up Keemstar possibly doxing Smile for YouTube, the time that Keem had a swatter on his show, and he then attacks Keemstar for giving a platform to someone who was so evil, but he neglects to mention that Keemstar sent the guy's info to the police and had lended a helping hand in the investigation that led to his arrest. But what really riled everyone up was that h3h3, in my opinion, insinuated that Keemstar caused another YouTuber to end his own life. We are of course talking about h3h3. Now, I'm not super familiar with h3h3 or his channel, so I can't speak to his character, but most of the people who did know him say that he was a pretty nice dude. But, you know, he clearly had some mental issues. Anyway, the events in question were in the weeks leading up to that sad ending. Keemstar had h3h3 on Drama Alert when he was clearly going through some mental struggles, and then followed the events closely on Twitter, at one point naming the hospital that h3h3 was institutionalized in, and making some comments that I won't repeat because given the benefit of hindsight, they aren't very nice. Regardless of Keemstar's actions though, I do not think that anybody can in any world blame him for the death of h3h3. Placing the blame of somebody's death onto another person is beyond messed up and hides the real cause of everything, mental illness. It's even more unhelpful when you realize that there are probably plenty of people in the world who have lost loved ones to mental illness. By trying to blame Keemstar for the death of someone who had mental illness, Ethan might have made some of them consider that their actions or something they said was the cause of their own loved one's demise, which everybody who is sane knows that you can't place blame for something like that on anyone other than mental illness. It's a mess. Ethan should not have even tried to blame the death on Keemstar. It's ridiculous, it's disgusting, and honestly, it's the worst. But he did do something less repulsive that had a much bigger effect. You could say that he dropped a nuke on the YouTube community. He went after Keemstar's sponsor, G Fuel. Ethan made comments along the lines of, "Wow, siree, I sure wonder why G Fuel wants their product represented by someone like this," or "I cannot believe G Fuel supports someone like this." Basically, he said a bunch of stuff designed to get G Fuel to drop Keem as a sponsor. And it worked. Keemstar is no longer affiliated with G Fuel. Now, I don't know why I have to tell this to people, but a lot of people are defending this, so I'll say it anyway. Going after someone's sponsors or attempting to deplatform someone is the lowest move anyone can make. Like, get in an elevator, press the lowest floor, get out, and dig yourself a hole until you hit the core of the earth. That low. It is an attack on people's freedom of speech. If you want to go after somebody in an argument, if you think they're wrong, prove them wrong in an argument. Do that. Destroy them with facts and logic. But when you have to attack their livelihood, it shows that not only are you more interested in deplatforming them than you are proving them wrong, but that you think that you have such a high moral high ground to stand on that no one could possibly go after your sponsors. And well, it turns out that despite his tweets, Ethan does not stand on any moral high ground. As soon as Keem and G Fuel parted ways, people started to go after Ethan's sponsors in retaliation, showing them clips of him saying the N-word from his podcast. Again, this is wrong. It's not right. It's not the right way to win an argument. Neither of them should have lost sponsors over their little temper tantrums. Cancel culture is bad. I can't stress that enough. And by bringing up the tactic of going after sponsors to the forefront of YouTube, h3h3 made it fair game for everyone. This will become a tactic that people will use to destroy everyone on the platform that they disagree with, until sponsors realize that no one on YouTube is safe to advertise with or sponsor, and they pull out from the platform entirely. Congratulations, Ethan. You've just launched us into Adpocalypse 3? Or is it 4? Nah, it might actually be 5, I think. Anyway, Keemstar responded at first with a video saying it was real messed up for Ethan to go after his sponsor and for Ethan to blame him for h3h's death, which Ethan, surprisingly, said that he didn't do. He seriously claimed that he did not try to blame Keemstar for h3h's death. I want you watching right now, once you're done with this video, to go watch Ethan's original content, New Keemstar, and tell me if you honestly think that that is not what he was insinuating. Because I personally think that he was 100% insinuating that Keemstar killed h3h. It's a dumb argument for Ethan. He played the wrong cards. He lost on that point, but he refused to give. And again, Keem didn't escape the criticism for his actions. He's done a lot of bad stuff, but he did explain the situations that Ethan brought up. For most people though, I think that the calling an innocent man a pedo thing is still a big deal. But again, it's nothing new. We heard about it from Grade A and Leafy a few years back. I don't want this video to be too focused on h3h3 being bad, because Keemstar is also bad, but it's easier to talk about the stuff h3h3 has done that I think is bad because he doesn't try to be a bad guy. Meanwhile with Keem, he's the villain of YouTube. That's what he calls himself. It's a hell of a lot less surprising when somebody like Keemstar does something stupid than when somebody like h3h3 potentially causes the next adpocalypse. For his part, Keem did retweet people and call for them not to go after h3h3 sponsors, which in my opinion probably brought more attention to it and led to more people going after h3h3 sponsors. And I can't speak to whether or not that was his intention, but I'm just saying that was my first thought. There was a lot of miscellaneous Twitter beef between the two of them, and it kind of felt to me like those two popular girls at high school who hate each other and are constantly spreading rumors about each other. Like, OMG Becky, did you hear what Keemstar did? No, Sophie, I didn't, but did you hear about Ethan? There were videos posted on each side, and neither of the two actually said anything that absolved them of what the other was accused of. According to Keemstar, though, at one point YouTube themselves reached out and asked Keemstar and Ethan to drop the stupid drama, probably owing to the future apocalypse and the bad press that the two grown men fighting like infants was going to cause. But finally, after like 3 videos from Keemstar and like 2 more from Ethan, Keemstar dropped his content nuke. He re-uploaded a video made by a guy named Gokinaru. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, and this was important because it had originally been a really popular takedown video of Ethan. It showcased his hypocrisy, talked about his podcast being badly structured, his ego, the whole 9 yards. But what makes this video important is that there was a lot of controversy about the fact that it had been removed from YouTube. Its removal came very close after Ethan had met with the CEO of YouTube, Susan Wojcicki, and quite a few people, especially in the commentary community, believed that Ethan could not take the criticism in this video so much that he went crying to the CEO, which kind of fits his recent behavior, in my opinion, acting like him and Keemstar are spoiled rich kids fighting over who gets to take the yacht the next week. Keemstar edited the video in a way to remove the content that had gotten it removed from Gokinaru's channel, and when it went up, something magical happened. Ethan was silent. Ethan hadn't been silent in weeks. Every time Keemstar posted a video, it seemed like Ethan was right on there, attacking him. The same with Keemstar. Keemstar was always perched on his keyboard, ready to attack h3h3 every time they posted a video. But this time, Ethan was silent. Now that was strange. I found that strange. And then something weird happened. The video was removed. Now I can't say that Ethan cried to YouTube and had the video taken down again, but I can say that to me, an observer, it certainly looks that way. And that basically brings us up to date. I skipped a bunch of miscellaneous arguing in the middle because it was basically just a temper tantrum, and these two kids don't need any more attention. This was less of an argument and more of a sinking ship. With every video and tweet, these two brought more water into the boat. And then that boat sunk so completely that neither Ethan or Keem have anything to stand on anymore. Keem lost his sponsors, but his reputation mostly stayed intact, if only because his reputation was already so bad. h3h3 lost sponsors, and like Keem, showed that he was essentially a petty child, especially because of his actions to go after sponsors. That is the most dangerous thing anybody in YouTube has ever done, and his only excuse for it was that G Fuel's in Keemstar's videos a lot, so it's fair game. And that's a dumb argument. You cannot just go after somebody's sponsors, go after their livelihood because you disagree with something they said about you. That's not right. That's petty. That's vindictive. That's downright evil. You should not do that, Ethan. That was a bad move. Universally condemned, bad move. If I had to choose a loser in this fight though, it would be us. It would be the community in general. We've been crushed like houses beneath the feet of these behemoths. The monsters went about their fight without any regard to the destruction they would bring to all of us. When the next apocalypse comes, we will be able to look up at those warring monsters whose footprints dug the hole that we now find ourselves in and know that they are responsible. When your favorite YouTuber can't afford to do YouTube anymore because their sponsors have decided that YouTube is too risky a platform to invest into, you now know why. It doesn't matter their reasons, much like it doesn't matter why someone fires a nuclear weapon. What matters is the destruction caught in their wake. And somewhere among that destruction is the next big YouTube star. It could even be you, but whoever it is, they'll have to hope that they don't get crushed in the explosion. And that's basically all I could say on the subject. What do you guys think? I'd actually really like to hear some of your input on this. And again, if you watched this far, you might as well like and subscribe. Come on, you must have enjoyed the video. Sorry I've been gone for so long too, but until this Keemstar stuff happened, there hadn't been much noteworthy stuff, and then everything happened all at once, and I had too much stuff to do between work and YouTube. It was a mess for a little while, but we're back, and I wanted to wait till everything had settled down so I could make these videos. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Have a great day. God bless.